Yeah.
Did we bring some monkey chow?
For the monkeys.
I always have my monkey chow. Product
Ooh.
placement.
I had one myself because I was a little sleepy tonight.
Ooh.
Hey,
Nice.
there you go. Nobody told me it was a caffeinated show. I'm just drinking water.
I have water. See, I have angry. It's my angry
It's
eye.
your angry eyes. Yes.
Angry eyebrows. Did you ever see that Veggie Tales?
Oh yes, I
The
have that
angry
one.
eyebrows.
Dance with me, Lampy.
That's right. One of our favorite little quotes around this house. Dance with me, Lambert.
Oh, Veggie Tales.
The more I know you, the more I realize how twisted you are. Just
I
like
always
me.
liked Larry Boy. He was one of my favorites.
He is out of sight, dynamite, and Vegemite.
Ah.
Your children
make
must be younger than mine because I don't remember that anymore.
Yeah.
You can make a sandwich out of Vegemite.
You wouldn't want to eat it, but you could make one.
You
Just ask
could.
the men down under.
Yes, generally you do it when you're traveling in a fried out combi.
Okay.
I'm
friends-
sorry, what? Fried okra?
No, that is in Louisiana.
My friends vacationed for their 20th anniversary in Australia and brought back some Vegemite. So we had to try it just to say that we had tried it.
And now that you've tried it?
Nah. In its place, I'm sure it'd be fine. It was okay. I didn't hate it.
Have it again.
Sure. But, I like Spam, so.
It's true.
You can have Spam egg sausage and Spam. It's not got much Spam in it.
Spam, 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 spam.
Spam, 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 spam.
Shut up!
Vikings.
He brought me back some Spam-flavored macadamia nuts.
Yeah.
I'm
You just
so
don't
tempted
see
to
those
open
every
them,
day.
but at the same time, it's got that shock value that I don't want to open them and
And waste them.
and waste the.
You just don't see those every day.
That's unique.
He also sent me a picture of the 7 flavors of Spam available. In a
Yeah,
box.
at
Is this
that
from a
particular
trip to
grocery-
Minnesota?
No, this was in Hawaii.
Oh.
Spam is very big in Hawaii.
Oh.
They eat a lot of Spam in Hawaii. So I was just actually gonna try to pull that picture up real quick before we start the go live. There it is. So let's see if I can.
So yeah, they
Figure
love
out-
Spam. I mean, you get plate dinners, or is that what it's called? Plate lunches
Could be, yeah. Let's see.
with, fried Spam in it.
There you go. How's that?
That's a lot of spam. Jalapeno spam.
Yeah, you got to hit your smoke spam and your jalapeno spam and you hit your spicy spam and your oven roast. That's about all the time the spam day is.
Well, at least there's 25% less sodium spam.
There
It's
you
the
go.
healthy spam, which is different than spam light.
No,
That's right.
Yeah, that's with less calories, but full amount of sodium. We had a Korean exchange student, and he liked Spam. So we had Spam in the house. Like, we had 1 can left. What am I going to do with this thing? So I put it on the grill,
It's good.
slathered in barbecue sauce. The next day, it was far better than it was the first day. So, but grilled Spam, it's a thing because I've done it.
Okay.
There you go.
I'm going to open up a food truck. Grilled
You
Spam on wheels.
You probably could. I'm sure there's a niche for that.
Absolutely. You could do it in. Yeah. Baked beans are off, Gary says.
Nice. Bloody Vikings.
Oh, I like spam. I love it. Without
Hey.
Spam egg sausage and spam without the spam in it.
What?
What do you mean, yeah?
I'm gonna have to go Google that tonight and watch it.
Let's go do a Spamcast. I mean, podcast.
Let's just blow the whole
Spamming
podcast off
in the
and watch-
Northwest.
and watch.
Monty Python clips.
Okay, I'm gonna hit the record button. Wits End, you're kicking us off.
Which that just means it's all downhill from here.
I know.
Okay, just so you knew that.
You could take out the kiddie pool line if you want to, and open a can of Spam.
Okay.
There you go.
Your call on that one. Okay. So here I go. I'm going to record and start the music.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to Caching in the Northwest, the only podcast dedicated to geocaching in the great Pacific Northwest with Spam. We'll talk about caches and cachers unique to this little corner of the country. So, hey, get out of that kiddie pool. It's time to go caching in the Northwest, man.
Tonight, we're going to talk about a whole passel of news articles, really, about the Northwest. But in order to do this, we need to bring in our newsworthy northern comrade.
All right.
Some say he doesn't always cast a shadow, and that he has a robot hand. All we know is that he's called Land Monkey.
Dos vidania, comrades.
Mm.
You are so international, and I have to say, Land Monkey, you are one of the best eyebrow actors I've ever seen. The eyebrow dance you do during the show opening, you rival Geordie LaForge on Star Trek as one of the best eyebrow actors.
Wow, that's great. I've achieved yet another one of my goals. That's fantastic. All right. What are we doing here, guys?
Well, last week we talked about the heat right here in the Northwest, as timely as we are, I might add. The heat is in the news around here.
Oh, boy, howdy. It is warm here, and it's supposed to be even warmer all next week. It's time right now for people around the Northwest who complained about the cold all winter to start griping about the heat in the summer. I'm blessed. I have to say I'm blessed with a very well-insulated house, and it really isn't too bad inside my house, even when it gets really hot. So what do I do in those cases when it's still comfortable in the house on a hot day? I come out to my not-so-cool garage to hang out with you guys in a podcast.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
The sacrifice.
Well, you're worth it.
I myself go into my basement where I'm almost a little chilled down here. Just to let you know that I'm suffering as well. Don't feel you're alone.
So if I'm hot and you're cold, then on average we're comfortable.
Land Monkey must be just right.
That's right. He's in the middle there.
Well, yeah, I'm kind of the Katy Perry. You guys are hot and cold, and
Ooh.
Hey, I
Music
kissed a girl and I liked it. So what else is going on around here?
Fireworks. We saw fireworks.
Yeah, we did. We did.
Awesome. Right, yes. You just had the 4th of July.
Yes, we did.
I've got no more Katy Perry songs that I know.
That's all right.
Okay.
We're good. Back on track.
Along with the heat comes increased fire risks. You see how I got us right back on track there?
Thank you.
Right now, in the Northwest, there are 5 active fires as of the recording of this podcast. So the largest is just north of Wenatchee in, is that Enitat?
I think it's Entiat.
Entiat, that's it. And right now that fire is consuming well over 6,000 acres. So it's big. The other 4 are much smaller, unless, of course, you're being affected by them.
And a lot of people are affected by them. It's easy to look at the news and see the people who have lost life and limb and property, but there's so many people affected by a fire. I have a close personal friend that works here as a fireman, and whenever these wildfires are raging, he leaves his family and goes out and fights these every year. And every year, although he really loves fighting fires, it takes a toll on him, and it takes a toll on his family having him gone. And there's always that risk of injury and loss of life for him. Look at the firefighters last year that we lost so many of the hotshots down south. In fact, he just commented on that. So our thoughts and prayers definitely go out to the victims of the fires and everybody that's touched anyway out there. It can be a real tragic thing.
So those are obviously interface fires, mean that they encroach on human development and and people other than firefighters are at risk.
Yeah.
Exactly. I found a website that, if you're interested in, I'll put it in the show notes to let you know. You can look at the fires, find out where they are, look at their status. It's a big, long, nasty URL, so I'm not even going to try to.
Oh, it's hideously long, and I'm not. There's no way I could come up with a humorous way to memorize it. So yeah, go check the show notes for it.
0A7DAD32FE4848B. I could go on.
Don't bother. Don't bother. Just so. Go read the show notes, folks.
If you're living in British Columbia, or you're planning to travel to British Columbia and you want to check on the forest fire situation, apparently we like to do things simpler in Canada, and we have a much easier URL. That's bcwildfire.ca.
Show off.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, this did the entire country, and the URL I chose was just the Northwest. So
gotcha.
I did. You win.
So on that note, in British Columbia, there is currently 3 forest fires of note. 2 are in the Prince George region, which is pretty far north, and 1 is in the Kamloops region, which is not that far from the Greater Vancouver area. 2 out of 3 of those are interface fires, and I think, again, as we said earlier, our sincere thanks go out to those like my dad who have and who continue to fight these fires each and every year.
You know, I have to say that policemen, firefighters, they really get my respect. They're doing the work that keeps us all safe. So if you're a firefighter, if you're a policeman, thank you for your service.
Absolutely. Hats off. As you can see,
luck, you guys.
hats. Absolutely. Well, let's let's move away from stories of tragedy and heroes, and just let's go to a different kind of hero. There's a news story that we wanted to cover tonight. Title was "A Global Scavenger Hunt App Based in Downtown McKinney." This article talks about Munzee. Now, we've all heard of Munzee, discussed Munzee, been out Munzeeing. Whether you love Munzee or hate Munzee, it's out there, and things, even if you don't like them or like them, can do well or do harm. This one's doing a really good thing. If you're not familiar with Munzee, it's a smartphone app. This article describes it. It's a smartphone app that connects to real life and virtual pins, they call it. They say there's more than 165,000 players worldwide. These players scan and place QR codes all over the world. So if you're out and about and you see a QR code posted somewhere on a sticker or a dot or a sign or whatever, check and see if it's a Munzee. Scan it with your smartphone. The app's available for iPhones, Android, Windows phones. I've Munzeed with my iPad even, So you capture them there, and there are currently more than 20 million captures and counting, according to Munzee's website. One of the things that Munzee does, they offer the players a chance to pay for premium memberships. Now, these premium memberships offer special access to pins and Munzee merchandise, but the app, if you want to just play, is free. There's leaderboards, gift periods, and the thrill of the search are the key incentives to play. Many people, though, just play for the and enjoy the app's ability to get them out of the house and explore and go find things. Munzee connects technology to travel, app to adventure, and, of course, as we all know, geocaching does the same thing for a lot of people, just to get out and mix technology with adventure and hiking. Munzee marketing director Dylan Derryberry says the important part is the community that's been built around it. The Munzee group is their family and the people they spend time with. Now, this personal connection to the game became very, very tangible recently, June 26th, in fact, in Spokane, Washington, right here in the Pacific Northwest, to the tune of, get this, $25,000. Munzee made the donation to the Ronald McDonald House Spokane, or Ronald McDonald House charity, in honor of the Reed family. The Reed family had stayed there several months while their son David received treatment for leukemia. Now, if you're not familiar with Ronald McDonald House, they've been around since 1974. I did a little research on them. I'd be surprised if you haven't heard of them. But the idea is that especially children, when they're undergoing treatment for these horrible medical things, leukemia and the like, really, really need their family around them. So Ronald McDonald Houses are located near these treatment centers so that the whole family can stay. They started in 1974. There's over 300 of them now, and the families are charged either they're asked to donate. It says about $25 a night for stay, but if a family cannot pay that, nobody is turned away. The fees are waived if they can't afford it. It's a great, great charity. Does a great things for families dealing with a really, really tragic situation. This particular family, David was diagnosed in October 2012 with leukemia, and his father Derek is a Munzie player. So he publicized his family's fight through online blogs and the Munzie forums, and the game fostered a special father-son bond. Soon, Munzie players rallied around him and donated specifically to the Ronald McDonald House, where families reside, as I said, as loved ones are treated at the local hospital. Munzie then jumped in the game and said, this is a great idea. They created virtual pins players could purchase as direct donations toward the Spokane Ronald McDonald House. They raised $25,000 in 10 days. Now, that's pretty incredible. That's pretty incredible. It gets even more incredible when you learn that nearly half of that $25,000 was raised in the first 24 hours. There was
the people who play these geolocation games are incredibly generous.
Absolutely. Yeah. One Munzie player in Missouri, nowhere near Spokane, by the way, bought $1,000 worth of pins. The Spokane executive director of the Ronald McDonald House in Spokane, Mike Fornes, said Munzie users are over-the-top generous, as you just said. They are so thankful for the donation. I looked up, in case you're curious, the Ronald McDonald House in Spokane, specifically on their website, says that their operating expenses, you'd think, Ronald McDonald House, McDonald's must throw a lot of money into this charity. Their operating expenses, about 9% of their operating expenses come from the McDonald's Corporation. The overwhelming majority of the support and the operating funds come from individual donations and charitable donations like this. So he says Munzie and the Ronald McDonald House family share many of the same values. That's values of family, helping others, and helping each other. So the proceeds, what does it say? The other institutions they went to the Ronald McDonald House. They had a special barbecue for the families, volunteers, and Munzie players who come and support. And even though this was Munzie incited, to quote the article, the celebration was really for the Reed family and all the Ronald McDonald House charity does for other people. He says it's going to grow our game and continue to grow the Ronald McDonald House community. And he said, the next time we give back, I can't imagine that we're going to give only $25,000. We're going to exceed that. There's another really long URL here to read the whole article. If you'd like to go check it out in the show notes, it's a really cool deal, and it just makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside, doesn't it?
It really does.
That's a great story.
It really is. And as I said, geocachers, Munziers, people who do these geolocation games really do look for a way to help other people. They tend to be generous, giving people. So, it doesn't surprise me at all that they got $25,000 within the first 24 hours. Or half of that, I apologize.
Yeah, absolutely amazing.
Yeah. So, good for you, Munziers, and keep it up.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Yeah, that is a great story, and we'll use that really awesome story off the start to segue into the next story, which is now we're going to switch back to geocaching focus, moving from Munzie to geocaching. Our friends at Groundspeak have announced another souvenir-based August. This one's called the 7 Souvenirs of August, so we're going from 31 down to 7, and it's a little bit more of a manageable number. I'm sure there'll be lots of opinions about it as well, as there always are, which is great. I love the conversation. So the deal with the 7 Souvenirs of August, to quote, traditional geocaches are the delicious bread and butter of geocaching. As we all know, you look it up, you go to the coordinates, and boom, it's there, nice and easy. Everyone high fives and on to the next one. However, this August, the mission is to explore more of the geocaching universe. So not just volumes of geocaches or locations to go to, but geocaching types is what the 7 Souvenirs is all about. So there will be 6 unique souvenirs to earn for your geocaching profile. Once you've earned all 6, you will then be able to unlock the special 7th souvenir. So the 6 souvenirs, the way to get them is during the month of August to find a traditional geocache that gets you the Explorer souvenir. Find a mystery cache to get the Puzzler souvenir. If you find a multi, you will get the Sightseer souvenir, I guess because you, in the process of doing a multi, would visit different sites and see them. The 4th souvenir that's up is called the Nature Lover. So that would be either attending a CETO event or finding an Earth cache. I wonder if I'll be able to do that this summer.
I know which one you'll pick.
He's a CETO guy. He's going to go do it.
Yeah, aren't CETOs done in the spring?
Yeah. Now they're all year long. They push them for Earth Day, but they're all year long.
That's
true. You can do them anytime.
That is true. There's another, the 5th type is called the Socializer souvenir. As you might have guessed, that means attending an event, a mega event, or the heretofore unseen Giga event.
Wow.
Which, what is that, 5,000 people
5,000,
or something
yeah.
like that? Yeah, because that's what Giga means. Okay, anyway.
Exactly. Just like mega means 500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in Pig Greek. It's like Pig Latin, but it didn't really catch on.
The 6th souvenir is going to be a little more challenging for folks. Some more rare cache types that you'll need to go for. It's called the Collector souvenir. In order to get that, you need to find either a virtual, a Where I Go, a letterbox hybrid, or a webcam. If you find one of those caches, then you get the 6th souvenir, the Collector. If you get all 6, then you are able to unlock the 7th special souvenir, the Geocaching Achiever.
Very cool.
Yeah, so we'll put a link to that blog article from geocaching.com in the show notes.
Yes.
And you said it's the 7 souvenirs of August, so I assume that it doesn't count if you've already found these types in the past. You need to find all of these 6 types in the month of August, correct?
As I understand it, the intention is to get people, again, just like they did with the 31 days of August, the intention is to get people out and geocaching in the hottest month of the year in the Northwest.
In the Northwest. In Australia, it could be the coldest month of the year.
Yeah, but they do things really different down there. Yeah, mega doesn't mean 500 in Australia.
Oh, what does that mean?
I don't know.
5 billion.
I'd have to stand on my head to tell you.
And then you look all funny. So this will be fun. I'm sure they're still going to have an International Geocaching Day souvenir, a block party souvenir.
Sure.
And of course, don't forget all your state souvenirs. So go ahead and find, if you find each one of these in a different state, you'll double your souvenir count.
There you go.
Clever.
There you go.
Just a little
That's
bit
harder
of
to
driving.
do out west here.
Yeah,
Back
it's a lot of driving here. Yeah.
Back in the New England area, you can hit several states in a day, but it's harder to do out here.
You can hit several states on the way to lunch.
Yeah, back there. But this is caching in the Northwest.
I think the Northwest is made up of 6 states total. So
Pretty close, yeah.
That's true.
And that's counting the state of confusion. So,
Bump. So get out and do those. Souvenirs, they're starting to grow on me. At first I thought they were silly. Now I'm thinking, you know what? That's not a bad thing.
they're kind of fun. I just never remember to go look at them. So every now and then I'll log in and go, oh, look at that. That's kind of cool. And then I forget.
So speaking of souvenirs and the amazing artwork that is the souvenirs, generally speaking.
They are very cool looking, yes.
And speaking of amazing artwork.
Oh, yeah.
You saved it. You must submit that. You know why? Because not only will that be a souvenir for me, because I'm going to keep it, I'll hang it up on my refrigerator. Right next to the butterflies and I think they're horses, but I couldn't tell. We are doing a logo contest for Caching in the Northwest. Yes, you heard that right, logo.
Yes, yes.
And
folks, if you don't enter, Land Monkeys is going to win. So
by
please,
default.
Yes,
Please enter. Please enter.
So yes, we've got a logo contest going on between now and the end of the month, right? So we can unveil it at the block party.
That's the plan.
Yes.
I had to make sure because last week we talked to several plans and suddenly, I thought I knew what we were talking about until it all came back in my head and I'm like, I have no idea what we're doing now.
Okay, I can take a hint.
yes.
I'll keep my mouth shut.
So between now and the end of the month, so you still got 20 days, no problem. Get out
You've got till midnight on the last day of July. Is that what we're gonna?
Exactly.
Okay.
And that needs to be emailed to feedback@cachingnw.com. There you go.
Any particular formats we're looking for the graphics in?
Nope. Send it to me. I don't care what it is. We'll be able to open it. You probably shouldn't send it to me in whatever graphics program default format. So if you're using Photoshop, don't send it to me as a Photoshop file. Don't send it to me as a GIMP file. We can do it, but
we can do it.
Save it as a JPEG, a PNG, bitmap.
If you must.
If you must, yeah. Black and white etching on cardboard or tin, that would be fine. Yeah.
Can I email you a stone tablet?
Yes.
Go for
ahead.
it.
Okay.
You'll have to use some serious compression to get it through. But in fact, at that level of compression, you just might be sending us diamonds. So please, send it along.
Wow, that's a really good idea. Coal.
Yeah.
And I'll get diamonds. So anyway, send your logo idea along, and we have a crack team waiting here for your logos to decide.
Oh, we're cracked, all right.
That's right. Cracked pots. You know what? We're not done with news. We have more news.
There's more?
There's more.
Of a Northwester who made it big.
Awesome.
Former Blaine student, and this is from Blaine, Washington, finds career geocaching. Alexandria Dolk first discovered geocaching by mistake when she was in middle school. We lived on Drayton Harbor Road, Dolk said. My friends and I came across this crumbling brick wall, and behind one of the bricks was a Tupperware geocache. At the time, Dolk had no idea what the strange little box full of goodies was, or that it would go on to play a role in her future. Geocaching is a worldwide hunt of sorts, a hobby that sprung up in the last decade and is growing exponentially in popularity. At the forefront of the new hobby is Groundspeak Incorporated, a Seattle-based company that's popularized and unified geocaching around the world. Their website, geocaching.com, boasts more than 2 million users and nearly 200 countries. 2 months ago, Dolk accepted a position as one of Groundspeak's community managers.
Awesome.
She graduated Blaine High School in 2009 as valedictorian of her class. So there you go. Now you can go stalk her. Wait, you might need some more information. She went on to the University of Washington, where she earned 2 degrees, a BS in Environmental Science and a BA in Environmental Studies. Though she'd gotten into geocaching in college, she didn't actively set out to make a career of it. She said, I knew someone who worked at the company, and I heard it was a fantastic place to work. When a position opened up, I utilized my skill set. I jumped in. Let me take a drink so I can finish speaking in a normal voice.
It is a great place to work, by the way.
It really is. It routinely gets one of the top, I'm going to say 100 workplaces in Washington State, if not the country. It's really quite a fabulous place to work. In fact, we did a podcast on that in the past, talking with Brian from Groundspeak.
Yeah.
So, as a community manager, Dolk organizes the company's social media accounts and keeps tabs on the geocaching community's needs and spearheads community outreach and promotion. She also writes for the website's blog. She could have written what we just read earlier.
She might have.
And recently posted about her recent geocaching trip in Blaine, where she and a family scored more than 15 finds. Though through geocaching, she was able to discover little details about her hometown she never knew existed. I'm sure that's never happened with you folks.
I actually, I was going to say, I remember reading that blog article.
Do you
Very
really?
good. Very good.
Yeah, it was only maybe a month ago it came out. It's quite recent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I do learn lots of interesting little tidbits while I'm geocaching, although I can't say I've ever learned anything interesting about Blaine, primarily because I've not geocached much in Blaine. But
Well, you should go there so you can learn tidbits.
I may have to. I think it's on the way to Land Monkey's house, so we'll have to go up there on the way up there sometime.
Through the forest, over the stream, and through Blaine.
Okay. Welcome to Oregon.
Yeah, and welcome to Oregon. That's right. So if you see welcome to Oregon, you've gone too far north.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's really awkward. Okay. Geocachers use GPS technology to locate hidden containers scattered anywhere and everywhere around the globe. Smartphone users can download Groundspeak's geocaching app and use their phone's built-in GPS to track down caches and log them with geocaching.com. Sometimes caches are obvious, kept in big wooden boxes or watertight Tupperware containers.
Arr, I love to have me caches in big wooden boxes buried with the X.
Oh, or those could be coffins if you're in the wrong spot.
Oh, yeah.
Stop digging.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why we're not allowed to bury geocaches. They dug up a coffin once. Now, others, and we're talking about geocaches, not coffins, are a little more devious, like magnetic boxes hidden in hard-to-reach places or disguised as something nondescript, like a piece of chewed gum. I always go pick at those to see if those are geocaches.
I have to say some of the geocachers are all sometimes a little more devious as well.
That is true.
And some are nondescript.
Yes. So there you go.
I was going to say, based on that last little comment about some of them being pieces of chewed gum, I did not realize when I was in high school how many geocaches were under the desks.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. All the kids were into it.
You can go back and log those retroactively, you know.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah.
Oh.
So what about the rules of geocaching?
Well, the rules of geocaching are very simple. Find the cache, sign the logbook, put the cache back exactly where you found it. And if you take something out of the box, leave something of equal or far greater value in its place. You know,
Yes.
Drop a diamond in there, people aren't going to mind at all. Caches typically come with difficulty and terrain ratings, which run from 1 to 5. A terrain rating of 5 usually indicates that you'll need some type of special equipment or training to find the cache, like a sailboat or mountain climbing gear.
Yeah.
Or SEAL training.
Yes. Or
Scuba gear. Yeah.
I was thinking Navy SEAL, but yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
I like it because I'm fairly outdoorsy. I love to go hiking and enjoy this sense of adventure that comes with looking for these little treasures everywhere, Dolk said. It's a little extra incentive to get outside. Dolk is still relatively new to the hobby. She's logged around 120 finds, and he has yet to earn her very own FTF.
First to find.
Some of her co-workers boast over 12,000 cache finds. That ranks up there with the land monkeys.
Yeah.
Not quite.
And the world record holder, I think, is a land monkey, if I'm not mistaken, at 100,000 finds since the hobby started back in 2000.
That's a crazy number of
If you had
finds.
started back in 2000, land monkey, you'd be at 100,000 today.
Probably would.
We're
When
not
you
quite
think
that
there's
obsessed.
2.4 million, and they've got 100,000. I don't know percentages, but
Yeah. It's a pretty small percentage.
you look at it and go, they've hardly done anything. Now,
What have they been doing?
Get busy, people.
to get to that number, the 100,000, you have to be kind of obsessed. I disagree with that argument. You have to be incredibly obsessed because it takes a lot of time and effort. Luckily for those hardcore types, there's a staggering amount of caches hidden throughout the world. The geocaching app lists dozens of locations in Blaine alone, most of them with fairly low difficulty levels. So there'll be a link in the show notes. Go jump on that.
Excellent. Well, hey, and given the fact that Alexandra's job at geocaching.com, because I don't think we're supposed to call them Groundspeak anymore. We're supposed to call them geocaching.com now, aren't we?
Probably.
I think
Groundspeak
so.
Incorporated still exists. However, they're trying to unify their brand into geocaching.com.
Right. So Alexandra, with her social media role at geocaching.com, may be following this podcast. She may know that we're talking about her right
It's a
now.
possibility. Very
I
much
said
so.
only nice things, right?
Of course.
Yes, we did.
We're the
We
nice
only
guy.
say nice things right here.
Except for the bad.
And Alexander, if you are listening, make sure you come visit us at the block party in August, because we'll be there.
Exactly. And now I do know there are several people at geocaching headquarters that listen to the show, because I've gone up there to talk to things and they go, "Oh, yes, we know you mentioned that." I'm like, uh-oh.
Wow.
I better be careful what I say. No.
Fantastic. Well,
So-
and if anybody at geocaching.com is listening to this episode and they want to come up and visit us in Vancouver, give me a ring.
Like a diamond ring?
No, that's already
put a
been.
ring on it.
If you
Yeah.
like him, then you should put. Never mind.
See, we know pop music. Yeah, right there with the Beatles.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Old pop music. Current stuff, I don't have a clue.
I'm kind of an
Yes.
old pop.
So I guess that makes Alexandra a lackey now. Is that right?
Yes.
Is that what they call their employees?
They proudly call them lackeys.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Excellent.
it's a term of honor.
Mm-hmm. It really is.
So well, I'm looking forward to the block party, and I hope we get to meet Alexandra, and we'll interview her for the podcast. That'd be fun.
Of course we will. I'll have to ask Eric to see if she can come by
Yeah.
specifically.
Now that we've honorable mention here, command performance.
There you go.
Hey, here's a question for you guys. Have you either of you found a geocache that you weren't looking for? Yeah, you just knew there had to be something there. You see that spot and you go, I don't have my pocket query open or even my phone out of my pocket, but I'll bet there's a geocache right there.
You know, that's what happened to Alexandria when she
Yeah.
found that first geocache behind a rock. You know, I have to admit, I found a letterbox that way. Now, this is a real letterbox, not a letterbox hybrid. So it wasn't listed on geocaching.com. You know, I was out with my family at a park and I looked and I go, that is an excellent space right there to hide a geocache. I bet I can walk. There it is. And I opened it up and I'm looking at it going, this doesn't look like a geocache. I've opened up geocaches, not letterbox hybrids that have stamps in them. That's not unusual. But you know, this wasn't right. Looked at it and go, that's a full letterbox.
Well, it was right for a letterbox.
Exactly. It's not
There
right.
wasn't anything wrong with it. It just wasn't a geocache.
Well, and you know, letterboxing predates geocaching.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
So without letterboxes, we wouldn't be where we are today. So thank
Very
you,
likely.
Letterboxing Corps.
Yeah.
There was another one I found. Now, this one I kind of knew was there. I knew it was in the parking lot, but I didn't have anything with me, and so I just went out and guessed. I bet it's under this lamp skirt, and I guessed right the first time. So I had knowledge that it was in the parking lot. I just didn't know where.
Sure.
So, but did I know it wasn't there? No. It was an educated guess.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. I was just going to throw in there.
I've
actually done the same thing. I've done the same thing a couple of times. Mrs. Landmonkey and I have found true letterbox caches when we were looking for a geocache. And the first time we found one, we thought, oh, it's a letterbox hybrid. But then what it had inside it was, and this is one of the key ways you can tell the difference. First of all, there will be no GC code associated with it. The other way you can tell is there will be a book inside with all kinds of other people's stamps.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the ways you can tell that it's not a letterbox hybrid, because most geocachers don't have their own stamp that they put in a letterbox hybrid when they find it.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool. We've done that. I'm trying to think. I can't recall if we ever found an actual geocache, geocaching.com geocache by accident, but that's
I
kind
don't
of fun.
think I have. I have also found a letterbox while caching, and I have found geocaches that my GPS unit kind of led me astray, and I got to the place and I searched high and low at where it said was ground zero, and I'm like, this isn't right. And then I kind of stopped and took a step back and looked around and went, okay, if I was going to hide a geocache, that looks like a more likely spot than where my GPS is leading me. And sure enough, it was right over there. So I've done that, but I haven't necessarily just stumbled across one in the wild.
Very cool. Well, speaking of geocaches and finding geocaches, we've got another news article. This one is from the British Columbia, Vancouver Island area of the Pacific Northwest. And the headline is "Treasure Hunting Takes a Modern Twist as Geocaching Catches On." I guess in our opinion, the writer of the story is maybe a few years behind, but I'm sure we feel it's already caught on, but that's okay. Geocaching.com will be very happy to hear that it's catching on. So the article goes on to say the traditional role of a treasure hunter is starting to take a modern twist with the evolution of geocaching, which is becoming increasingly popular in the Nanaimo area. Nanaimo is a fairly major city on Vancouver Island, about 50, I'm going to ballpark it, about 50 kilometers north of Victoria, on the inside coast of Vancouver.
Okay, so is that up towards Bouchard Gardens, or is it past that?
It is past Bouchard Gardens. You go up Bouchard Gardens is on the Pat Bay Highway towards the ferries. You would actually have to come around the bay and go up the other side.
Okay, Victoria and Bouchard Gardens are kind of the only places I know on Vancouver Island. So
Bingo, right there with you.
There you go. Nanaimo area. We actually, us Land Monkeys, spend a lot of time in the Nanaimo, Parksville, Qualicum area, so we're quite familiar with the area. So the article continues on. Instead of following a weathered treasure map in the search for, with a big X on it, in search of hidden cache, CASH, these modern-day adventurers are following GPS coordinates through local parks and public areas, seeking a new type of cache. Geocaching is a real-world. I'm sure whoever wrote this article is going to spam me. Just to bring spam back into the episode. I think
absolutely.
We just have enough.
There we go.
Geocaching is a real-world outdoor treasure hunting game. This sounds familiar. I think we've discussed this before tonight. Participants, or geocachers, use handheld GPS or even a smartphone to navigate to a specific set of coordinates to find hidden containers, which are called caches. And the coordinates are all found online at www.geocaching.com.
I can remember that one.
I think I know that.
Will we put that one in the show notes in case people are...
We should, though, just in case.
Maybe we'll have Alexandra come and explain that one to us.
Okay.
The cache contains a logbook detailing who has found the cache and when. And remember, folks, if you don't sign the logbook, you didn't find the cache.
Ooh.
I'm just adding that in as a personal... It is one of the 4 rules of geocaching. How hard can this be? Anyway, all right, I'll get off my soapbox and read the rest of the article.
Okay.
Where was I? Sometimes it contains miscellaneous trinkets, or swag as we call it, which can be taken and replaced with a trinket of your own of equal or greater value.
Absolutely.
Geocaching started in 2000 and has since exploded. That sounds unfortunate.
Boom, there it is.
I think they mean in popularity.
Yeah, with the number of caches that have been mistaken for explosive devices, I don't think that's a good description there.
Yeah. Oh, dear. So, and again, a requote of some of the information in the article about Alexandra. There's approximately 2.4 million hidden geocaches in the world. And this article goes on to say thousands upon thousands on Vancouver Island. The quote is, if you go to the center of Nanaimo and do a 100-kilometer circle, you will get 5,000 geocaches. Nanaimo is very populated, says Paul Legacy, who was out geocaching with his friend Chester Zostek. Our apologies to Chester, on Saturday in Nanaimo. So I would just add that if you go to the center of Nanaimo and do a 100-kilometer circle, you may not want to cache most of that circle because you'll get very wet.
Well, they have to have 2,000-3,000 underwater caches in that area.
Oh dear. So Legacy, who goes by the geocache name Paul Boy. Oh, this is great. We're spoiling people's caching monikers here. Sorry, guys, but it was already published in the Nanaimo newspaper.
That's right.
So They
So it was
obviously
Nanaimo that messed it up.
5 people have read that.
He has collected about 15,000 caches since 2010. Wow, that's pretty
That's
good.
impressive.
That's pretty active.
So that's 15,000 less caches now that are hidden out there, because if he's collected them, he has them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they meant that he's logged them, but that's
Oh.
okay. Zostek, who goes by the geocache name Arnie Barney. Oh, I like that one. That just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
He has collected 2,500 caches since 2008, so he has some catching up to do with Paul Boy.
Boy has totally dominated Arnie Barney
Absolutely.
there. I'm just
Wow.
saying.
Come on, Arnie Barney, step up your game. All right. Most geocachers go out in groups with friends and family. That's true. It's a lot more fun to go with friends. Legacy said children seem to enjoy discovering geocaches that contain trinkets, which are sometimes referred to as geo-swag.
Another truth.
Another truth, because geocachers will put the word or the 3 letters geo in front of pretty much anything. Sticks,
Anything.
rocks, car, dog,
Kid. Yeah.
wife.
Yeah.
Metro.
Geo Metro. Yeah. That's part of the Geo car. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
But
Nice. All right, back on track. It seems easy enough. Pinpoint the coordinates, follow your GPS, and find a treasure. Yeah, it sounds easy enough.
you can easily find 15,000 apparently. And
Yeah.
Sometimes it's easy, and sometimes it's not so easy.
Exactly. Some geocachers like Zostik and Legacy are taking geocaching to the extremes. The two are planning a 12-hour hike to Della Falls in the search for a single cache, which is likely filled with cheap knickknacks, it says. Della Falls, that is not just a major hike. You have to actually boat to the trailhead on, I think it's on Great Central Lake. I'll double check my geography there, but that's actually a hike Mrs. Land Monkey and I have noted for the future at some point in time as well.
Very cool.
That is and Della Falls is, if I'm not mistaken, the tallest waterfall in British Columbia.
Interesting. Nice. Well, maybe you could meet up with these two.
Yeah, maybe. It's not the first time the two have went well out of their way to find a cache. I know some other geocachers who do that from time to time.
Who finds a cache on the way? You always find a cache a little out of the way.
That's right. That's right.
Sometimes well out of the way.
Yes. I was just thinking, I seem to know some other geocachers who tend to climb to the top of mountains to go find geocaches.
I don't know who would do that. I mean, lunatics like that might find caches like 500 days in a row or something.
That is another lunatic, yes, absolutely. So a few weeks ago, these two gentlemen joined a group of Nanaimo area geocachers and participated in a 10-hour trek to Wesley Ridge near Cameron Lake to find 13 separate geocaches, as opposed to 13 pieces of one geocache.
13 of them all very close together.
There you go. At least 160 meters apart.
Yes.
Or 500 feet. It's a lot of work.
We only have to do 500 feet down here.
It's a lot of work. Oh, go
mega
ahead.
feat.
It is a mega feat.
There you go.
To hike 10 hours. It's a lot of work for next to nothing in return, says the article.
Hey, wow.
I guess it depends on your perspective. Well,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, that McDonald's Happy Meal toy is worth it.
I think Alexandria is going to have to get a hold of the writer of this article and set him straight.
Absolutely.
All right. But anyways,
40 lashes with a wet noodle.
It goes on to say, but it's not the cache itself that hooks the geocachers. As we all know, it's the thrill of exploring an area and the challenge of finding the cache, which can be camouflaged and extremely well hidden.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for a summer activity, something that will get you outside and have you explore areas you didn't even know existed, then geocaching might be a good fit. Some municipalities and even provinces, such as Prince Edward Island, have started using geocaching as a marketing tool to bring people into the area. There's always something new to find. There are a few geocaches in Nanaimo that will require you to rediscover the downtown. Yeah, there's a couple of puzzles and multis that need you to go and find, well, here it says, a lot of caches are like little tours of the downtown area, and you have to go find these plaques or things on buildings. You walk by this stuff every day, and geocaching makes you take notice, Zostek said. And we will include the very, very long link.
Yeah.
Not everybody, has the short links like they do in BC.
Yeah. And
Well,
this is BC.
This is BC.
But they're over on the island. They do things different out there, I guess. So.
Yeah, well,
that's
so I'll just, because we're running long, I'll throw some more content in. I was just going to say that actually in the Parksville, near Nanaimo area, is where Mrs. Land Monkey and I first started geocaching in 2012 in the summer.
very cool.
There you go.
Well, they mentioned in that article that you walk by stuff every day, and a lot of things you may not even notice, and geocaching makes you take notice of those things. And well, here it's summertime, and summertime is often a time to take vacations and get out and go places and do things. But maybe, with the economy being the way it's been and people doing things, maybe you're not going on vacation. Maybe you're staying home and taking a staycation this year. And you could do just that and notice some things around your house, around your town, and around your home. Because whoever notices those things at home. People always ask about touristy things to do, and like, we never do those things here until we have out-of-town company come. But hey, we have found another article here, since we're talking about news this week, to if you're doing that staycation thing, there are 15 tips to keep your staycation frugal and fun. Because, who says you need to have a fancy resort, to go to a fancy resort, have a great time? You can stay home. So there's 15 great ways in this list to make the most of your staycation. I didn't write this list, but this is what it says. You can, number 1, sightsee in your own town. Number 2, enjoy a fancy picnic. Unplug. Check out free local events. Number 5, go geocaching.
What? Shut the
Yes.
front door.
Shut the fridge. I could tell you in great detail what exactly geocaching is, but I think we've covered that enough.
No, please, let's discuss it again.
If you haven't heard enough, rewind the podcast.
I was going to say, because people have tuned into this specific podcast because they don't know what geocaching is.
To quickly go through the rest of the list of 15, it says have a spa day, perfect the art of the nap, or if you're a geocacher, the map. Take a food tour of the world, take a scenic bike ride, take a class, check out festivals and fairs, go camping in your own backyard, have a movie night. You could have a movie night in your backyard too. I've done that.
Yes,
create your own tournament and catch up on your reading. The bottom line, there's 14 things you could do out there that aren't as good as geocaching. Go geocaching. Oh, wait, that's not what it said. Geocaching was number 5, but to us, it's number 1.
That's right.
So, if you're going to stay home, get some geocaching done. The whole article is over at the Huffington Post. You can read about it in the show notes. It'll take you right there.
Hey, speaking of geocaching being number 1, there's some swag for our geocaching.com friends to have for the block party. Big foam fingers. Geocaching number 1.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. You
Make
just
sure the
can't
right
find
finger-
caches to put those big foam fingers in anymore.
They make them, trackable.
Yeah.
Dehydrate them. They expand with water. You can put them in a nano.
Ooh, I
So
like it.
you don't need a staycation in order to go caching in your hometown.
True.
In fact, don't even wait. Go now. Well,
I gotta go.
wait till the podcast is over.
Oh, okay.
So all these are great ideas if you're hosting friends and family over to your house this summer.
Those are great ideas, absolutely. So on the topic of news and people who, I was going to say create the news, people who write the news, which in some arguments create the news. We won't go there on this podcast. And
Comments
so
can be said too, never mind.
Land Monkey, yeah. So on the topic of news and going caching in your hometown, us Land Monkeys have been invited along with some other local cachers to join one of our local celebrity geocachers, Cuttlefish, and we are going to be going geocaching with a video reporter from Associated Press on Saturday in the UBC area of Vancouver. That should be a lot of fun. We're very honored to have been invited to go along, and we'll let you guys know when the report is published.
Well, congratulations. That's really cool. It's nice to know such important people as the Land Monkeys.
Ha!
Now,
It's
when
nice
you're
for the Land Monkeys to know important people.
when you're with the reporter, make sure you use large, confusing words. Tell them that you're hunting buried treasure. You're using maps.
Oh yeah,
And you
yeah.
need shovels and an eye patch.
Make them do some long coordinate calculations longhand on paper and pen.
We're going to do everything in UTM.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. No, that'll be fun. Yeah, actually, apparently the reporter was very interested in the technology side of geocaching. So,
That's right up your alley. There you go.
Yeah, we'll be able to talk about global positioning system receivers.
Oh, very nice.
I can't think of a better ambassador for geocaching than the Land Monkeys. Let us know how it goes.
Thanks. We will definitely. All right. Oh, yep. Sorry. Big long pause as I look at a whole bunch of blank space. Okay, there we go. I'm on the ball. Speaking of the Land Monkeys, and excellent geocachers, I think that our listeners are all awesome geocachers, and they're extra awesome because they took the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. And listeners, you can be part of the show. Call 253-693-TFTC. Leave us a comment, correction, or question any time of the day or night. Of course, you can email us at feedback@cachingnw.com. Visit cachingnw.com, the brand new site, for the show notes on this show or more about any other Caching in the Northwest podcasts. Your support helps to keep quality shows coming. If you like this show specifically, or any of the previous shows, please click the PayPal button on the website. This show is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2014 by Chris Umfenauer.
Good night, all.
Oh, and we're ending again. No.
Now, I go to stop the recorder first, so that usually cycles through one time before I can get there.
Interesting.
But if I don't let it loop, then we'll always run long. If I let it loop, we can finish on time.
Right. Hey, I saw a little bit of feedback online. Didn't get a chance to get to it because I didn't see it until now. From What Coaster, when we were talking about finding geocaches accidentally, said that he found a puzzle cache that he wasn't looking for and he hadn't solved it. And he was aware of that puzzle cache, but hadn't solved it yet. So he figured he had the coordinates because he found it, but couldn't get the coordinates that he was using to agree with the geochecker.
Interesting. Wits End and I kind of brute forced a puzzle that it was an older one, and there was a stage or two missing.
Oh.
And it took us around a parking lot, and we just looked at it and go, well, if I was going to finish up, I'd finish up over there.
Kind of forgot about that.
Yeah. Kick it. There it is. Found it.
Yeah.
Nice. It's Gary's White Coaster. Gary's story reminded me that I actually had once done the same thing. I forgot about that when we were talking earlier about accidentally finding caches. I was waiting for a meeting in Burnaby, killing a little bit of time, and there's a large statue in an interesting animal statue in a rockery and with a pagoda around it. And I thought, if I was going to hide a geocache, I'd hide one under one of those rocks. So I thought, what the heck? And I went and looked, and there it was. And fortunately, it had the GC code on it because it was a puzzle cache, and I would have had no idea what cache it was otherwise.
Nice.
So I did log it as a find because even though I didn't solve the puzzle, I did find the cache.
That's right.
Cool. Signing the log is all that's required.
Yes, if you ask the cache Nazi.
The cache Nazi. Maybe I need to change my name. Oh, too much. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop the broadcast. Good night, all.
Night all.
Thanks for watching.